Hello, Normandy Park. Happy June. This is Eric Zimmerman bringing you a council update video covering the city council meetings of May and June. Actually, this is a very overdue video. I was supposed to make one for May. I didn't do it. I was going to make one for June and I went on vacation and now I'm making it now. So I hope that the information here is still useful for you and gives you some insight into what the city council and city staff have been up to for the last couple months. And actually, there's quite a lot of information to cover. So I'm going to be using some notes to help me keep track of what we're talking about. And as always, if you have any questions, please do let me know. Reach out to our city staff. You can email me, you can call me, come by City Hall, and we'll be happy to talk with you more about what we're up to. You're in Normandy Park, so you know we love our police department. We have a great team of really professional and responsive officers. And on May 15th, we were very happy to celebrate National Police Officer Memorial Day amidst National Police Week, which we recognized from May 11th to May 17th. But our officers are here to serve you. We do really great community policing. So if you have any questions, any concerns, please feel free to reach out to our police department. And again, anytime you see something concerning, if you need help with something, feel free to call 911. You'll also be seeing Officer Enrique out on a new police motorcycle. We added that to our fleet of police vehicles recently. And Officer Washington has completed the training and the other requirements necessary to be on a motorbike. And so when you see him around the community, feel free to wave, say hello, and as always, drive at a reasonable speed, or you might be having a conversation with Officer Enrique. One of the other things that we worked on in our May and June meetings was something we call our PROST plan: parks, recreational open spaces, and trails. This is a plan that the city is required to maintain and update from time to time, and it is a huge, huge document. Our city staff and our Parks Commission were working on this for a very long time, and honestly, it's a great plan. They did a really, really good job with it. The purpose of the plan is to help our city have an advisory report, a guiding document, a strategy to help us think through the coming years, the coming decades. What do we want our trails, green spaces, parks, and other recreational facilities to look like? What do we have the resources for? What might we need to seek outside grants or other funds for? It's not a committed budget, but it's an advisory report that helps us find a direction. And in the coming years, the city council and the city staff can draw inspiration from its strategy to help us make key decisions as to where we put our resources and how we grow our parks and other recreational facilities. If you're interested in learning more, you can check out that document on our city website. You can come by City Hall and ask to speak to Amy Lloyd, who's our parks manager, or you could ask another member of the city staff to help you find some more information. But we've been spending a lot of time on it on your behalf. We're really excited with the results and hope it will help us to make really good decisions about Normandy's parks, green spaces, trails, and other open areas now and in the future. We also had a really great presentation from Ron Ebers, who chairs our Parks Commission, and Ron walked us through what the Parks Commission has been up to this year. I'm just going to give a few highlights from what the Parks Commissioners, who are all volunteers, working really hard on your behalf, all the things that they've managed to do for our residents and for our city staff in the last 12-month period. But you'll probably be familiar with the Owl Prowl. That's a program that's hosted by our Parks Commission. They also have other educational and recreational programs, the Birds, Bats, and Plants Walks. The preschool summer camp that we're going to be offering again this year is something that's hosted by our Parks Commission. They also do planting and parks upkeep in our city parks and other green spaces. They maintain a pollinator garden. They're working on an enchanted trail in the Nature Trails Park. And they also are a big part of making our Arbor Day Festival and our Fall Frolic successful events. There's other things the Parks Commission does. They were a big part of our PROST plan, which I had just spoken about. But we're very grateful for our volunteers and really glad that Normandy Park is able to offer fun programming and fun educational activities for residents, thanks to the great work by our Parks Commission. As a city council, we also spent time talking about our transportation improvement plan. This is actually a 6-year projection of opportunities for Normandy Park to improve its streets, improve its sidewalks, improve culverts and other infrastructure that we're responsible for. I'll be honest, Normandy Park is responsible for a considerable network of roadways in a complex environment. We've got hills, we've got trees, we've got waterways, we've got embankments, we've got streams that cross under streets. And this is stuff that honestly doesn't fit our city budget very well. We're a pretty revenues limited city, and we have a lot of obligations for our city operations and our right-of-way maintenance. And we will often look to outside funds to help us meet those obligations. The Transportation Improvement Plan, the TIP, which is running through 2030, is a way of explaining what we're going to be working on, where we're going to be seeking funds from, how it's going to benefit residents of Normandy Park. And Public Works Director Ken Corder and his team have been very hard at work on this. The City Council was able to pass this through so that Ken and his team can continue to work on these improvement projects, continue to seek funds, and work with our state, local, federal partners on how we can make sure that roadways in Normandy Park continue to be safe, well maintained, and in harmony with our natural environment. Related to transportation improvement, a group of residents had come to a city council meeting recently to present a petition that they had for improving safety on First Avenue. You've probably driven it. There's a section of First Avenue in the south part of Normandy Park as you approach Des Moines, or coming into Normandy Park if you're going north, where there isn't a guardrail on the western embankment of the road. And if you're not driving at a safe speed, or if you've had a couple too many, it's possible you're going to end up in somebody's yard or in someone's house. And the residents had asked our city if we would consider putting in a guardrail along that area. Actually, state of Washington, this is a state highway that runs through Normandy Park at the moment until the State Route 509 connection to I-5 is completed. But City of Normandy Park wants to step up and help do something about that and make sure it's safe for our residents and for others who are walking and driving, traversing throughout our city. So in response to the petition, we've decided to add that to our improvement plan and make sure that we can find resources necessary to put guardrails along that section of road and make sure that a driver who's moving up and down First Avenue isn't going to end up in someone's yard or even worse, in someone's house. Doing our best to keep everyone safe. The City Council also recently went through a process of amending our municipal code for buildings. So if you happen to live in close proximity to a whole lot of trees, forest or green belts, and you're putting on a new roof or making another large change to your property, there could be some new rules that you'll have to follow and take into consideration. Our city staff are able to talk with you about that. So if you have a big new project, if you live adjacent to a whole lot of woods, reach out to Nicholas Matz of our planning department and ask Nicholas to help walk you through some of the new updates from the state of Washington. These are not things that Normandy Park came up with on our own. They had already been adopted at the state level, and they are legal requirements that exist today. We're just incorporating them into our own municipal code to make sure that when builders and others are looking at our code, it's very clear and very consistent with what already exists in state law. But if you're doing a big project, if you've got a whole lot of trees adjacent to your property, reach out to Nicholas Matz and Nicholas can help walk you through it. The last thing I'm going to talk about, because this has already been a long video, talk about our city staff. We recently discovered that as we were doing salary surveys, our pay structure in Normandy Park did not compare all that favorably to other cities of our size. And we have an excellent city staff who are professional, experienced, doing the very best they can for our residents. And so when we learned of that discrepancy, we as a city council and our city manager, Amy, decided to take really quick action and update the salary structures for our professional staff here at City Hall so that they compare favorably to other cities of our size. We want to make sure that our city is an environment where people want to work, where people feel rewarded for good work and do the very best they can for residents. And so I was very happy to see City Council able to move through an updated ordinance giving more competitive salaries and making sure that the work that our city staff is doing, which is always high quality, is appropriately compensated in the context of changing salaries and inflation in King County, Washington State, and around our country. If you've hung in to the end of this video, you must like Normandy Park and be interested in what we're up to as a city. Feel free to reach out anytime. My email is here on the screen. You can email me, give me a call, come by City Hall, talk to our staff. Even better, we've got a town hall coming up on June 26th at 7 p.m. Very welcome to come by and share your thoughts, help us do a better job as a city. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being a great resident of Normandy Park, and I hope to see you around the park this summer.